Okay, is that better? I don't know what happened there. But is that, can you guys hear now? Let me check and see. Echo? Okay. Is it still echoing or no? Yes. Yes. Sound good? No echo? Okay, great. All right, perfect. So, how are you guys? Listen, I had a lot of stuff to kind of talk about. I've got tons and tons of pictures and slides to show you. So, so this is more of a matter of kind of what's been happening in a preach report. So some of you may have watched, some of you may not, but we had quite a few people come in to Bartlesville to preach with us out at, in my house here in Stillwater, but we had a lot of people come in and they stayed here at my house with us. And CJ, we got to meet CJ, you guys. She stayed with us for a few days. What a blessing that was. She got to kind of see how we do things behind the scenes here a little bit. She got to participate in a Bible study with everybody. And it was really, really, really good. We have a couple other brothers who, you know, I only worked with Ruben, but never came here and never did anything with me personally. But after coming here for the weekend, they said they had no idea the kind of stuff that we're doing, and now they got to experience it and see it for themselves, not just hear about it. And one of those things is, you know, we're dealing with in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Many of you know last year we preached that Pride event, myself, David Grisham, and Jim Gillis, and it was just the three of us, and we caused anything but a small stir in that city. This year, as a result of the preaching, as a result of the controversy and all the libs of TikTok stuff that we got to share, that they shared our videos, they canceled the drag show this year, so they didn't have one, which is great. The problem, of course, is that the police, you know, last year, remember how bad the police were with us? This year it was no better. We were assured that they had extra training. We were assured that, you know, what they did last year wouldn't be happening again. And that doesn't appear to be the case. I don't know what the problem was, or I don't know what the problem is, but for whatever reason, those police officers really, they seem like they're they're the brown shirts of the LGBT, that they're like the bootlickers for those people. Whatever those LGBT, people say, they will do and cater to them. It was amazing to me. I wasn't there, of course, because I have my appeals case. I couldn't go, but we did have a team of about 14 or 15 people out there. And they preached, banners up. I mean, it was amazing to see all the banners up, you guys. What a blessing it was to hear them. Everybody got to preach. Brother Mark, Brother Dave, Ed. She even got to throw in a little stuff there at the end there after the police treated us so horribly. And believe me, they've got their letter from our attorneys today about all that. But, again, it was truly in Ruben's style with the banner. I mean, just a wall of banners up there. You couldn't miss them. I mean, if you were out there, you could try to shield, and that's what the police did, by the way. The police literally lined up their cars to try to block out the noise and to block our view, because remember, last year, we got a video of what those drag queens were doing. And they didn't want to take that chance again. So what they did was they literally tried blocking it out so we couldn't see. Then when the guys went over to cross into the public park, they literally said, we have to ask the LGBT people first. And if they say no, then you can't go. And of course they said no, and they couldn't go in to a public event that was not ticketed. It's amazing how the LGBT is literally trampling on the rights of Christians in this country. While they scream for their special rights, they sit there, and they do stuff like that. It's absolutely amazing to me that they can get away with that. So we'll be dealing with that there. But, as some of you know and heard, Oklahoma has had, it's been the biggest story everywhere. And that is this principal out of John Glenn Elementary School who was arrested 20 years ago in Stillwater for possession of child pornography. Now, his case was dismissed, and of course, the LGBT is all, yay, it was dismissed, so no, it's a nothing burger. Well, that's not the case. Just because it was dismissed doesn't mean the guy was innocent. The guy did indeed have child pornography, but he claims he received it on accident. I don't know about you guys, but I have never received anything like that on accident. Ever. It's a bunch of bull, okay? That guy didn't receive an accident. That guy received it on purpose. All right, he can say what he wants, but but of course, the LGBT in true fashion will always defend the perverts and do whatever they want and do whatever they say. It, like I said, that's what they do. That's who they are. And it's disgusting. But, this guy, of course, lit a firestorm. He also poses as a drag queen at night. His name is Dr. Shane Mernon. He's out in John Glenn Elementary School. And we, our friends over at VSIT, at the Substack, dug into this and gave us the information. And we shared it. And Libs of TikTok shared it. And it was everywhere. And by the way, I got to spend about 40 minutes with the woman who owns the Libs of TikTok. She interviewed myself. She interviewed Brother Mark, and spent about 40 minutes with us. She watched us pray. She got to hear about Jesus Christ. She took videos of my shirt that Greg and Angela made. And you guys, let me tell you something. You want to get a shirt to where it's going to trigger people? This one will do it. It says, liberalism is the real killer, okay? And on the back, as a list, it says, while they scream to take guns away to protect children, the liberals want to, murder them, sexualize them, jab them, mask them. It's got a whole list. And the Libs of TikTok, Shia, she loved it. She's like, can you turn around and let's get a couple shots of that and whatnot? And that was at the school board meeting, but I'm jumping ahead of myself. So this principal was arrested 20 years ago for possession of child pornography. He goes to court. The judge says, we can't tell if those are kids. We're going to dismiss that. The prosecutor says, oh, no. They appealed it, went to another judge who looked and said, it is pretty clear that those images are of children. Kicked it back down to another judge who looked and said, I don't know if they're 18 or 16 or 15. I don't know. They're not 8-year-olds, so we can't prove one way or the other what this is. So that judge wound up dismissing it as well, oddly enough, which to me seemed very, very strange. I don't know why any judge would do that, but he did. So he was not vindicated. It wasn't an innocent charge. He also was, convicted of he was also arrested for drugs and whatnot. And anyway, so he had it expunged. But this is a man who dresses in drag in nighttime. And it's not just dress and drag, and he doesn't do anything with the school, keep it separate. No. This guy actually takes pictures of the children in the school and posts them to his drag queen page. Now, what I'm going to do here, is I want to show you guys some of this stuff. And I want you to see what this guy's saying. So what I'm going to show you here, just so you guys know to prepare you for what's coming on this. So what I'm going to show you is a couple of things that he did an interview, breaking his silence, as they called it. And in this video, in here, you're going to see his own words. You can hear what he said. And then I'm going to show you pictures from his drag queen page, okay? And you're going to see this man does not separate his drag persona life from his school life. He very, very much mixes the two, and he really wants to get other drag queens involved. So as I go through this, let me just share this with you here. So if you can read this, this is a non-doc article in which this principal, he gave his sermon, not a sermon, he broke his silence. And he says, in his interview with Non-Doc, Mernon said he originally began performing drag when he was coming out as gay, embracing the historically rebellious art form as a therapeutic practice in safe community spaces. Broader acceptance of LGBTQ identities has allowed Mernon to portray Mandalay in different settings, but he said he attempts to tailor the person to the audience at hand. Similarly, he has said he has tried to distinguish his professional worlds. I've always kept my personal life and my second job separated from my educational career. Now remember, this is what he said, and you have to keep this in your head as we go through this series of slides here. I don't talk about it, Mernon said. Anytime I've ever been, it's been discussed, it's been after my contract hours. A lot of my teachers have seen me in drag and didn't realize it was me. Okay, so that's one part of that's one part of what he said. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right. When we're doing this stuff, I want you to keep all of this in mind. The next one is here. Here's what he said about the child pornography. He said, at the time, Mernon maintained that he had acquired the pictures by accident and promptly deleted them. So this isn't a man who was not in possession of child porn. By his own admission, he was in possession of child pornography and claims he got it by accident. Okay? Now, this is what he said. This is not a vindication. This is not it was a nothing burger. This man actually had child pornography. Does anybody here believe for 1 second that he got this stuff on accident? Does anybody believe that? Have you ever received child pornography on accident? Have you? I've never. I don't know anybody that has. But that's what he said, so he's not innocent. He did have it. According to reports from the Tulsa World, Stillwater detective Les Little testified at the initial 2002 hearing that Mernon said he was on the internet at night. A guy asked him if he wanted to see photos. He said his computer was set on automatic, and he automatically received it. He said he didn't like that, didn't want to look at it, and deleted it. He automatically received it. When does your computer automatically receive and download images? They have to be sent to you in some kind of file. Okay? His story doesn't add up. It's a lie. This is all a fabricated lie to justify possessing child pornography. And you're going to find out in a minute that this guy does indeed enjoy looking at prepubescent looking boys. That is his thing. Okay? You have to remember, he said as we go through this, and I'm going to keep reminding you, he said he received these images on accident. Okay? Didn't deny having them. He said he had them. Said his computer automatically opened and downloaded the file because that's a thing. And then claims, I don't like looking at young boys. I don't like that. And as you look through these pictures I'm going to show you here tonight, remember, he said he doesn't like that. So we're going to recap at the end. You're going to realize this guy absolutely does like prepubescent looking boys. A fellow teacher testified that Mernon had told her about receiving 12 photos of a young boy and an older gentleman having sex. Despite dismissing the case, Special District Judge Philip Corley told Mernon it was his personal opinion that he should be nowhere around young children. So the judge even recognizes, I don't know if these kids were 15 or 18, but I'm looking at this, I'm hearing your story, and I'm telling you, by the statute here, because we can't prove they're 18 or not, but I would not let you near young children. And the LGBT rainbow freaks, the liberals, the teachers here, are all praising and standing with this guy who had child porn, a judge, okay? A district judge said, you, sir, should be nowhere around children ever. Okay? But, again, the LGBT, these gay guys can do whatever they want. And they will be defended by the LGBT. It doesn't matter what they do. This guy could rape a child right in front of them, and they'll either say nothing or defend him. Okay? And these teachers, I stand with Mernon shirt. These teachers need to be removed from our schools. These people need to be kicked out of our schools, and it should have nothing to do with children. They should be nowhere near children in any capacity. And a judge actually agreed with that. Okay? As we continue. So this is a guy who works at John Glenn Elementary in the Western Heights School District. Western Heights Board of Education member Braden Hunt, remember that name, guys, Braden Hunt, said he was absent from the June meeting where Mernon was hired and only learned about the new principal's drag persona after the fact. Still, he said the other board members were aware and that he would have joined their unanimous vote to approve the contract. As long as it's separate and as long as what you do in your personal life is within the bounds of the law, there's no reason for us not to hire you because of that. So, board member says, as long as you keep it separate, don't bring it to the school, no problem. Keep them separate. Even though the guy admits he possessed child porn, his story doesn't add up, and they don't care. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you some pictures. I'm going to share with you some things from his Shane Mernon is his real name. His drag name is Chantel Mandalay. Okay, that's his drag persona name. I'm going to share some things with you, and before I share them, I want to warn you, some of this stuff is really disgusting. This man is a sexual deviant. There is no questioning that fact. He is a pervert. As we go through these pictures, again, not to be redundant, but remember, a judge had said this is a man who, because of a technicality, had his case dismissed, shouldn't be around children. Okay? That's what a special district judge said. The technicality was they couldn't prove whether the kids are 12 or 18 because they didn't know who the kids were. The only time they can unequivocally prove it is when it's like a 5-year-old or whatever. So this guy beat this charge on a technicality. And keep in mind all of this, and again, like the school board member said, as long as it's separate, they don't see any reason not to hire this guy. Okay? Remember that. So, Chantel Mandalay is his name, his drag name, and he has a whole drag Facebook page. Here is one of the posts, okay, from his drag page. Now, I ask you this question as you read this. Does this sound like somebody who's just read this, okay, and I'll leave it up here for a second before we go to the next one. Does this sound like somebody who's keeping their drag life, their personal life, separate from the school? Now, I get it. Some of you might think, well, that's just one post. Not a big deal. He's not talking about kids. He's not talking about drag stuff at all. He's just saying, but I want you to read this. This man says he went to school, right, where he works from a night before of partying and debauchery, being drunk and stupid probably, doing disgusting things with other men, had wig glue in his hair, his head, whatever. And a student seemed to notice it. So that means that there was so much of it that the student said, whoa, what is that in your hair? Imagine what that poor kid must have thought in reality. Okay, so here we have one instance where Dr. Shane, whatever his name, Mernon, again, right here proves that he does not keep it separate, that his drag life is very much a part of his teaching life. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? And I'm just saying this because I'm actually putting, I forgot to put the audio on some of these slides, so I'm doing that right now as I'm talking to you guys, so that this way I don't have to keep doing it and I can focus on this. So let's go to picture number 2. Here we have Dr. Mernon dressed in drag with a child. Yes, this man has a child in his photos, okay? Now, I don't know if that's one of his students or not. I can't say for sure whether that's a student or not. I don't know. I could certainly take a guess, but there he is with a child, okay? And again, I'm only showing this part because this is a man who desperately wants to be around children, okay? Do anything to be around children. Loves children. And not in the way that you and I would say we love children. This is a man who looks at children as sex objects. This is a man who looks at children and says, Okay? Remember, as we go through this is a man who had child pornography, admitted to receiving it, claims it was an accident. A judge said that you, sir, should never be around children. Here we have another picture from his drag page. Teacher Appreciation Week. Today is a green day. So this is a man who's showing, right, on his drag page, the stuff from school on his drag page, okay? So remember that board member said as long as he keeps his stuff separate, it's not a problem. He also, Shane said himself that, he doesn't mix the two. But here we see that's a flat out lie. Here's a little depravity for you from his page. And I'm not going to repeat that, but you can read that. Blanking, twerking, and at happy hour. Come see me. Okay? And I'm showing that. I'm showing it. I'm going to show how filthy this guy is. Now, this picture here show you that's a guy who looks like a young man. We don't know how old he is. Just like the child porn case, right? We have no idea whether they're 15, 14, or 18. We have no idea. Right? This is, there he is with a guy. Now remember, he said he doesn't like looking at young men. He doesn't like looking at that. But there he is with somebody who looks very young. But he said he doesn't like that, remember? Here we have a picture that he put here. I really enjoy my students' artwork. At times it makes me chuckle. So he took an art project from one of his students and shared it on his drag page, where it's nothing but queer, gay men, things like that. And he's sharing pictures like this from school on his drag page. Now I ask you once again, does this seem like something that is separate? Doesn't look like it to me. Another one of his posts here on his drag page. Ever wake up and feel the need to get in your truck and hump people down and use them as crash dummies? Today is that day. Again, just giving you a little insight into his mind there, that's all. Here we have another one here, another post from his school. Teacher Appreciation Day. Today's gift color is neon. So we have green, neon. He's posting things from school to his drag page. And if you can't figure out what the school is, believe me, this man, and you'll see here in a second, one of the pictures he has, we know exactly what school he was at because you could see the papers. So this is not separate. This man is co-mixing his disgusting life with his professional life. Teacher Appreciation Week. Red gifts yesterday, yellow today. I wonder what color I get tomorrow. My kids are amazing. Once again, guys, does it sound like he's keeping things separate? How about this one? Here's the red one. Boys brought the blues and girls brought the pink. Okay? This is what he's sharing from his school onto his drag page. Okay? Here's another one of his wonderful posts from his drag page right here, the disgusting pervert. Knees in the air, surfing grinder, and he says the painkillers made him do it. This is a man who just had sex with this principal, it looks like. And now he's in hospital because he's in pain. You really think is this somebody you want around your children? Apparently some people say yes, no problem. Now again, here we have another example of him saying how he doesn't mix things together. Here this is all on his drag queen page, remember. He says, "Today I teared up because of one of my students. He started the year with me in 3rd grade only knowing the alphabet. We began working on reading basic sight words like drag and twerk and these things probably. Today he read his first book ever to me. The smile he shared of his accomplishment brought joy to my heart." But he's keeping things separate. Ah, yes, here we go. Here's another lovely picture on his drag page. Here's another shot from the school. It's going to be a good day when your boss demonstrates that she can peel a cutie in one piece. And he put that on his desk where any child could walk in and see this disgusting display. And I know it's an orange peel, but it was done on purpose from a teacher to a gay guy on his desk in a school where children could see this. And this is all being bragged about on his drag page. This disgusting pervert is also asking for people if they're looking for a job on his drag page. If you want to make a difference and make a child's day, message me. I need volunteers for my school carnival tomorrow night. He's asking for other drag queens and other gay dudes to volunteer for a school carnival, be around children. Somehow that doesn't seem very separate to me. This one takes the cake, okay? Now, some of you are looking at this. He posted this on his drag page, okay? So I came to work and was told that today was the day they were removing part of my wall due to flooding a few weeks ago. I was a little pissed until this happened. I must say, a little ASS in the morning can change your whole day. Woohoo! It's a great day. Now, if you look at the paperwork there, you can actually zoom in and see the name of the school. I wonder how this maintenance man, and by the way, we are trying to track him down right now, would feel knowing that this gay guy was salivating over his rear end as he's trying to fix his wall and then post it on his drag page. Folks, this is, can you imagine if a guy had done this to a woman? That guy would have been fired immediately for sexual harassment, as he should. So here we have a homosexual drag queen ogling a man who's fixing his wall and then taking his picture without his knowledge. I don't have those. The pictures of kids. I didn't want to put the kids on here. This man would be ticked off if he knew this guy did this. A teacher. This is when he was a principal at Hillcrest Elementary. You can look at the papers and see it there. And he's ogling and salivating over another man's behind while he's at work. I mean, this is absolutely disgusting. This is disgusting. And yet teachers, LGBT, they're all standing behind this guy. But if this was a man who did this to a woman, he'd have been fired. But no, this homo could sit there in his office while the guy's trying to fix it, just do his job, and then have his image plastered all over the place while some gay guy's talking about his behind. And you think that this is normal behavior? You wonder why we say that these people should be no around children? This is Exhibit A right here. There are kids in that office, okay? There are kids that go in and out of his office every day. And he's doing this while he's sitting there over a guy's butt. See, these people, they can't help themselves. They're filthy. This isn't anything out of the ordinary. This is why these people shouldn't be in schools and around kids. And don't tell me it's just this guy. This is how they all are. How could you look at what this gay guy, Shane Mernon, whose drag thing, Chantel Mandalay, is ogling over maintenance men. Do you know what this guy would do if he found this out? And believe me, we're going to let him know as soon as we find him. We've got 3 people we called today. We're going to find out who he is, and we're going to make sure that this is a well-known fact, that this gay teacher was sexually harassing a guy and didn't even know it. And his image is being plastered all over some gay drag queen page because some disgusting, deviant, child porn possessing drag queen principal thought it was cute and funny. This guy should be in jail, not in the public schools. But hey, when you're gay, you can do whatever you want, and people will come and stand with you with their rainbow-colored hair. Here we have another one here. Another one. Okay, this guy is a deviant. You know it's going to be a good day when the painter you hired shows up and is hot as hell. Excuse me, sir, will you please bend over and dip your brush again? Again, now we have another guy. Now, the only good thing is he didn't post a picture of this guy. But here we have a guy, again, in school, couldn't control himself when people are coming in to work in his office. I mean, this guy's a pig. He is a sexual deviant. He is a predator. He is a pig. He's disgusting. And of course, hey, Oklahoma, I'm a ordained minister, and you'll see what the problem here is with that. Florist and DJ, your one-stop homo shop. Taking reservations now. This guy mocks Christianity at his gay bar that he works at. They do a drag church service, they call it, and where they mock Jesus and they mock Christianity. He's disgusting. So today, my friend picked me up for lunch. Now remember, this is all his drag queen stuff, right? Today, my friend picked me up for lunch. He noticed my teacher whistle around my neck. Friend, is that your rape whistle? Me, yep. And it's sad I never get to use it. I guess I'll go buy me some batteries. It's a teacher whistle, which he's turned into a sex toy. Because he's just a pig and disgusting. And again, a little mine in here. This is a picture, apparently. You see, it gets, again, it's such a great feeling to be eating at IHOP and your friends send a selfie holding your dirty underwear. Hope you enjoy the cement. I'll get you both. I mean, This is a guy around children. Such an amazing day. What? I did. I showed it. Yeah, I showed the one with the where you said, "Oh, my kids, their artwork makes me giggle," and that. I showed that. Oh, I must have duplicated. Such an amazing day. Okay. My students were wonderful. I went and visited my old school for Meet Your Teacher Night. Decided to sup a casino and finally won my Sumatra Tiger machine. I fell out. And I only share this because the guy can't stop talking about his students. Okay. And again, you have to remember, the board member says, no, as long as he doesn't mix the two, it's fine. And this Shane guy says, no, he never mixes the two. Never does that. It's a lie. Now, before I share this next picture with you guys, I'm going to warn you. This one's pretty bad. But you need to understand and see it when you look at the context of when he said, remember he said he got child porn in an accident. He doesn't like looking at that stuff. What you're about to see is the kind of guy that this disgusting pervert likes. He likes what the gay community calls twinks. Young-looking boys. He likes prepubescent-looking boys, but he'll tell you he doesn't like looking at it while he's sitting there doing, and this isn't the only one, by the way. This is what he likes. He likes young kids. That's what he likes. So I just sent another child home with head lice. Thank goodness I keep my hair short because those little critters jump and my kids want to hug me goodbye. Now, this is a guy who comes into work with wig glue, who comes in after, debauchery and everything else, and hugging children. When we just saw the kind of guy that he likes, possession of child porn. Again, I ask, do you want this guy? And again, this is not going to stop until we Christians and conservatives actually do something to stop it. But here's another example here of he talks about his professional life on his drag queen page. Here we go. Here's another one. Now remember, this is important. This is a big one. My day has already started off rewarding. As I was sitting in my office, I overheard a teacher discussing gay marriage with a student and explaining equal rights. The student had lots of questions. It was amazing to realize how far we've come, especially when the teacher was able to explain her and her wife's marriage processes. These teachers are telling your kids all about gay sex and gay marriage and drag queen this and drag queen that. And I'm showing you these slides. I'm showing you these pictures. You guys are with the stuff that we expose with what he's doing. Do you think anything's going to change? Do you really think anything's going to change? Until we do something about it, nothing's going to change. Until we as Christians decide that we've had enough of this, or if we had enough of having enough, it's not going to stop. I'm going to warn you about the next picture again. Now you tell me, is this a man who you believe says he doesn't enjoy looking at kiddie porn when he likes sitting there with guys like that? Three of these guys look like prepubescent boys, twinks, and he likes it. That's what he likes. This is on his drag queen page. He likes these young looking boys. When you see this, And then you look at the child porn in your story, you know that this is a guy who enjoys looking at naked children. He's a pervert. There he is with a child again. Would you want this guy around your child? I know the LGBT does, because they'll sacrifice those kids, because these kids, again, these kids are nothing but objects to them. They're props. It's a great day when your student points out you have wig glue on your head. That's how close he was. Now, again, this next picture, I'm going to do it quick because it's really bad, and I can't even stomach looking at it, and I have to look away because it's really bad. But I'm just showing you the depravity of who this guy is, and he's in our schools. So I'm gonna pass on that real quick, just showing you what a disgusting pervert he is. All right, I just had to go that one quick because that one really makes me sick to my stomach. They all really do, but that one just... So here we have another one. Talking about the school stuff, right? A job like no other. I'm proud to be a teacher. So all his drag friends know he's a teacher, that he has access to children. At the end, here are my educator stats. 19 years, 4 schools, 4 districts, grades taught 3 through 5, principal 7, states taught in Oklahoma, teacher friends, so he's this. This next one is pretty bad too. The one with the guy bending over in this next picture should be more than enough to get this guy fired. So this guy says, man time with my son. This guy is saying that man time is going into the bathroom with his son while he's urinating and taking a selfie with him as he's going to the bathroom. Now, that is definitely not a bathroom one has at home. Is it a school bathroom? I don't know. But he's definitely in there with a kid. That's definitely a kid. Man time with my son. Doesn't he refer to all those kids in the school as his children? That's definitely some kind of stall and locker room, school maybe. But this is what this guy thinks is appropriate. And the fact that he posted this on his drag queen page, by the way, and look at all the comments. They think it's completely fine and normal to take a picture of a young boy going to the bathroom. Now, I know what the LGBT will say. He's not showing his genitals. Oh, well, I guess that makes it okay then. That one says it all right there about how these young children feel about drag queens. Y'all know that loves the kids, but the kids don't love them. Just showing you the natural fear children have. This is a man who loves children, right? This is what he says. Read this one. Well, I made it to Phoenix. The flight made me clutch my purse. The screaming tear beside me is lucky I didn't beat her with it on the flight. But this is a man who touches your child's heart and probably touches your child too. There he is in his night of depravity there. Disgusting, deviant pervert. Ah, yes. And here we have another one. Are you bilingual? Want to make a difference in the lives of children? Must have GED or diploma. Inbox me if interested. So that brings me to my next point. This guy is recruiting for gay drag queens to bring into his school. And guess what? In the school he's in right now, in John Glenn Elementary, okay, he has another drag queen in the kindergarten. The school before this, he brought in a bunch of drag queens. This is not a man who keeps it separate. This is a flat-out, lying, disgusting, perverted devil. And if you don't think he likes boys, here you go. House boy needed. Free room and board and free sex if you like the smell of sweaty tights. He's making a joke. Oh, about pedophilia. This guy should be nowhere near children. And yet we find that on Monday night, We went to they had a school board meeting about this guy because this story is everywhere. Okay, this story, is everywhere. And there was a school board meeting on Monday night, and the teachers and the drag queens planned to crowd the parents out so the parents couldn't speak. Okay, they went there, the teachers and the drag queens went in that meeting, and they stood there and tried to crowd the parents out because apparently they think that they have more say in who's to be around your children than you do. And this is their mentality, by the way. They think that they should be able to teach your children what they want, not what you want. Okay? Now, our superintendent of state in Oklahoma said that, and he said this publicly, that teacher unions are terrorist organizations. And what teachers want to do is they want to drive a wedge in between children and their parents. And he's exactly right. That's exactly what they want to do. Okay? They want to teach these kids one thing and then come home, and when you argue with them and it causes the children to run away so that they go with these people. That's what they want. Whenever a grandparent or parents come to that meeting, the teachers, the drag queens, laughed at them, disrespected them. A grandmother said that her fears of the principal, and they laughed at him. They are terrorists. And God, I'm telling you this because I, as a preacher, not only, you see, there's a lot of things you got, and CJ got to see a lot of what goes on that we do that you guys don't get to see public. And this is the kind of stuff that we do. We're exposing this. We're working on this stuff here. But it keeps happening. And if you think this is the only school that has this, by no means no. This is probably happening all over the country. Because these teachers are leftist, Marxist propagandists who want to get your children. They want to put their hands on your children and they want to recruit them. Because then if they can turn all these kids pro-gay, eventually they'll get their parents on board. Their parents will be like, well, I love my child. And then they're going to go ahead and make pedophilia legal. That's the end goal. That's what these people want. Okay? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. For me, this is the biggest thing we've ever been involved in. Okay? Because it is everywhere. It is international. And the fact that teachers think they can go to a board meeting and crowd out the very parents whose children go to that school is disgusting. And for me, it's extremely frustrating because I don't know what to do to wake Christians and parents up to start standing against this, because when we stand against it, we stood outside that school, and there were some parents, when we stood outside that school warning them about this, there were some parents that literally told us they don't care. They told us they don't care. We stand outside and preach against this stuff, and the churches tell us, well, we're just mean. We're being hateful. We're not being loving. While these people are in for their schools. I'm going to share with you the audio of the preach I did at the board meeting outside.
Sick collusion allows a man who was in possession of child porn to have unfettered access to children. What is wrong with you people? Shame on Western Heights School District. On top of that, when you found out about this disgusting, reprobate, drag queen principal, you tried covering for him and making it seem like child porn was no big deal. His case was dismissed on a technicality. He is a danger to children. He has a felony arrest for drunk driving, and the liberals in this county refuse to bring it to court to cover for the sodomite. Shame on you. When your kid gets molested by some drag queen groomer clown, you have nobody to blame but yourself, because you let him have access to your kids. children's lives. The only way a drag queen can change a child's lives is after they molest them and that child is messed up forever.
Preach it, bro.
Disgusting, filthy reprobates. And you parents that allow this and advocate for this, you deserve to have your children taken away from you. Because when that guy molests one of your kids, at given time, the only difference between a homosexual and a pedophile is a few years. You have one that's open who just admitted to know God that he possessed 12 images of child porn. He claims it was an accident. How many of you have ever accidentally received child pornography? How many of you have ever accidentally downloaded child pornography? The fact that you excuse that and justify it speaks volumes of you, mommy and daddy. You have allowed Satanists, Luciferians, God haters to take over our schools and try to turn your kids into sex toys. What is wrong with you people? Have you completely lost your minds? Shame on you!
And then I went inside to that school board meeting and I walked around and one of the parents saw the shirt. Oh, you ignorant. I said, one of the teachers, I said, excuse me? And, you know, I said, ignorant. I said, you support a pedophile, and walked out. And then they told me if I go back in that I would be trespassed from a public school. You see, these people don't want, they don't want you to usurp their plans. And you know, this is why when people say to me, Rich, why do you do what you do? This is why when a Christian criticizes me, I could care less what you think. Because while you watch and you criticize, you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. This is an active predator who is in our schools and has the support of teachers who knew that this man was in possession of child porn. And they just brushed off, well, it was dismissed. He admitted to having it. And the only reason it was dismissed is because they couldn't tell if the kid was 15 or 18. It was so egregious that the special district judge even said that this man should be nowhere near children. And yet, here he is, sexually harassing maintenance guys, posting it on his drag page, sexually harassing painters, talking about it. This is a man who can't control himself even around children. They post phallic shaped, they cut oranges up to look like penis and testicles and put it on his desk and they giggle about it. What would they explain if a child walked in? I mean, seriously. And I'm looking at some of the chat here, I guess coming in later. Why did you ban T-Bird? I didn't ban T-Bird. I don't know where he is. I have no idea. And for the record, nobody that follows me impersonates people. Nobody that follows my channel does that. Okay? Because people that do that are just trying to start trouble, but it ain't going to work anymore. So you can knock it off because it's not going to work. But this is my point. You know, whenever you do something like this, the devil wants to come in and try to distract you. The devil wants to take your focus off whatever. But we are dead set focused, you know, on this stuff here. Because, you know, in Bartlesville, you can ask, like I said, Brother Mark, CJ, Ed, you know, Kat was there. You had all the, Betsy, Sister Betsy was there. We had all these people there. And there's not a single local church that showed up. They want to know why their towns are being taken over. They want to know why their towns are being inundated with this nonsense, with this filth. It's because the churches don't want to do anything about it. They're too concerned with sitting in their buildings singing Kumbaya while these people flood our streets. I can't even begin to tell you how infiltrated our government is. I can't even tell you how entangled these people have woven themselves in because they can pretty much do whatever they want and get away with it. Because Principal Mernon here was arrested 3 years ago on a DUI charge. And the DUI charge was a felony DUI because he blew 3 times the legal limit. The OSP, which is the Oklahoma State Patrol, did their paperwork and everything else because they arrested him. He blew into the breathalyzer, probably did a blood test. I have his the affidavit they did. They went to court with an affidavit because they said this guy should be in jail. Okay? Now, this guy for 3 years, it's just been sitting there. Nobody did a thing with it. If this was anybody else other than a sodomite, case would have been put in front of a judge, and he would have been convicted, lost his license, everything. But in Oklahoma, and I think it's in most states, if you're a felon, you can't be a teacher. So the liberal DA, okay, Black Lives Matter supporting liberal DA in Oklahoma County, didn't want to bring this to court because this guy wouldn't be allowed to have children anymore. This guy is a danger to children. This guy's a danger to society, and yet because he's a sodomite, and they wield tremendous power, by the way, that we let them have, they can do whatever they want, and they suffer no consequences. We have been beating this drum for about a week now, and the teachers hate us. I don't care. Parents didn't like to be sure that they don't, it's disgusting. And I'm sharing this with you because I want to know what it's going to take for Christians to get up off their butt and just stop their crap. You're not doing anything when you're sitting in church singing Kumbaya. It's great for fellowship, absolutely, hearing the word of God. Praise God for that. But we are supposed to do much more than that. If your Christian life is nothing more than going to church on Sunday singing happy, happy, joy, joy songs and nothing more, you're doing it wrong. And you need to repent of your apathy. You need to get your butt out there and you need to do something because it's your apathy, church. It's your apathy, Christian, that is allowing these people into our schools. I just showed you a whole bunch of pictures of this guy sexually harassing other men. Okay? Taking a pic. This guy can't even control himself at work. All he can think about is butt sex while he's at work with children. A guy possesses child porn. But, it was an accident. He didn't mean to get it. His computer automatically downloaded it. He said, ew, yucky, I don't want to see that. Meanwhile, the guy likes what they call twinks, which are prepubescent looking boys. And even a judge said this guy should never be around children. So I ask again, church, what is it going to take? Do you honestly care about what these perverts think about you? I mean, you really care that these people look at you as anything? You think you care that they call you names? Who cares what they say? Who cares what they say? Who cares what they think about you? Doesn't it matter what God thinks about you? Why are you so afraid, church, to do anything about this? Okay, and by the way, you can say what you want about me, but I had a full house here this weekend. People that have never been to my house that saw, they came out to school, they saw what we were working with, they heard me talking to lawmakers, they heard me talking to lawyers, you want to ask CJ, ask Brother Mark, ask them what we do that you don't see. And how incredibly frustrating it is that the churches won't do a damn thing. Instead, they want to make sure they try to be famous on YouTube with their deliverance nonsense. After all, we want to push oneness heretics and Satanists. Or they want to just, sit in church and do nothing and sing happy, happy, joy, joy songs. And then you want to criticize and come after guys like me who are doing what we're doing out here. Enough's enough. My friend, well, we've become friends. We've become very close. And every single person who watches needs to go to v1sut.substack.com and you need to subscribe to her thing. That woman found me by looking up the court case from Bartlesville And as a result of that, and working with her with stuff like this, it's become national news and national attention. The woman who runs it is a God-fearing woman. She's a Christian. She loves Jesus. And she is well respected and well trusted that people send her stuff from all over the world. And this woman knows her stuff, and she digs down deep, and she finds all this. Not even finds it, but they give it her, and she goes in and goes in and goes in, and that's it. And because of her integrity, her faith, and her investigation, she brought this to light on that visit Substack. And I got a hold of it, and we gave it to Libs of TikTok. We gave it to everybody. And all of a sudden, we started going, and it went, I mean, this is the biggest, I mean, we have 2 big lawsuits, but this is bigger than that. And even, like Brother Mark said, he had no idea that this is the kind of stuff that goes on that you guys don't see. And you don't see, you guys see YouTube stuff, but you don't see what goes on behind the scenes. These YouTube videos, those preaches, those are just what you see. We found out today that my truck has airbag suspension things. And they're deflated, popped, could be. And yet, we're still plugging away. I had a deputy sheriff come to my house and tell me, now remember, this is a police officer who told me that I need to make sure that when we are outside of the house, that I am armed at all times. And that I better make sure that we are armed in my house. Because what you guys also don't know is that somebody tried busting my fence open to let my animals out. Because of this kind of this exposure that we're doing with this stuff. These are God haters. They hate God. And if you're a Christian, if you're a follower of Jesus, they're supposed to hate you. If you are going out of your way to make them love you, then you've got a problem. Okay? Because they're supposed to be hating the men and women of God. They're supposed to be hating those of us who are speaking up for the truth, because speaking of the truth drives them insane. Right? They can't stand it. Because to them, I mean, we're hateful, we're bigoted, and yet because we're so concerned with the image that we are to these people, I mean, I just showed you a whole thing of pictures of this guy's doing. And you think you're going to love him into heaven? This guy is a deviant, pervert, child pornography possessing drag freak show who mocks God every single Sunday at a gay bar. So when is it enough? When are we going to stop worrying about what these people think about us, what these people say about us, and start worrying about what God thinks and what God says? Because I don't believe there's much hope for America. I truly don't. And it's not because of America. It's because of the churches. It's because the churches don't want to get involved. They don't want to do anything about it. That guys like this weasel their way and they go under the radar. They can do whatever they want. This guy could have killed somebody as drunk as he was. He couldn't roll down his window. They didn't know the difference between his license and his debit card. And yet he got away with it. He didn't care. He went to the bar again. Didn't care. Because he knows all he's got to say is he's gay and he can get away with murder. Can do whatever he wants. And the teachers in your school, the teachers, by the way, that your kids spend 6 hours a day with, these teachers are grooming your children with this garbage. Because they know no matter how strong you may be, because again, if you're too weak or spineless to stand outside in your own city and your own town against this garbage, and they're going to tell me, well, we're raising our kids right. Bull crap. Because once these perverts get this stuff in your kid's head, good luck, mommy and daddy, getting it out. Because after all, they're telling these kids that people like you are dangerous, terror, evil, this, you want to let people love is love, all these things here. They're filling your kids' heads with this stuff 6 to 7 hours a day. Then they come home to you and you say, no, 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 after they see how loved the drag queens are, how loved the maps are, how loved the rainbow roaches are. And you think you're going to go against all those teachers that are filling the head with this crap? I don't think so, mommy and daddy. This is your wake-up call. Too many people are worried about what, saying things. Look, my channel, my Words for Christ channel is so shadow banned lately. It's getting worse and worse. I can barely crack 1,000 views now because of the shadow ban. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to lighten up because of it. I have other platforms. It's okay. But this is your wake-up call. We have nobody to blame but ourselves. Our kids, another teacher in Tennessee, was he yesterday before, got arrested for sexual something, whether it's sexting or sex with them, I don't remember which one, but another teacher. Every day in this country, on average, there is a teacher. There is a teacher that gets arrested every day in this country, every day on average, one a day on average in this country, for doing something with a kid. And these are all leftist liberals. That's what they are. They're all liberals. Liberals love kids and sex. That's what they want. And by the way, they don't hide it. Remember when the drag queens say, we're not sexualizing kids, as they spread their legs and rub their crotches in their faces for dollar bills? Enough's enough. Enough is enough. You want to go, again, your lovey-dovey nonsense is not helping anymore. If you truly love people, you're going to tell them the truth. You're going to stand firm and you're going to tell them it's wicked, disgusting, depraved. Is it worth the sacrifice of children because you're going to hurt their feelings by saying that they don't need to be around kids because you might incur the ire, or maybe they might come after you, they might threaten you, they might damage your property? They put our Lord and Savior to death on a cross, and it wasn't because of his love speech. They did it because he was telling them things they didn't want to hear. And if they did it to Jesus, they're supposed to do it to you. But Christians in America go out of their way to avoid persecution. I'm not saying to run into a hail of bullets. But if your lack of being persecuted if your fear of being persecuted is the reason why you're doing what you're doing and not doing what you're doing, you're going to have a lot of explaining when you stand before God. Because every single Christian I know tells me, I will give my life. I will give my head for Jesus Christ. No, you won't. You're telling me that when the time comes, either you're gonna die, you can't buy food, you can't participate in society unless you renounce Christ. You're gonna tell me you're gonna stand firm in that day when you can't even do it now because you're afraid that some child porn possessing reprobate is gonna call you a homophobe and a bigot? Please give me a break. You're using the word love to mask and hide your cowardice. And you can hide it, you can try to convince yourself, you can convince your spouse, your family, but you are not going to deceive God because God knows what's in your heart. What comes out of your mouth? God knows who you really are. And no amount of gaslighting, even yourself, no amount of, we just have to love them, redefining terms, redefining words, pretending God is a God of love and nothing more. You can try to do whatever you want. It's not going to work. When you keep the fight on social media where they control the argument, where they control the narrative, you can't win. Because you know what? Facebook, YouTube, they don't want information like this out there. These people, the LGBT map community, they're the ones who control the information that you see and hear. And if they control the narrative, if they control the flow of information, Just exactly what information do you think you're going to get? These people are telling you they're not grooming or sexualizing kids while they're literally doing it right in front of you, and you just go, oh, okay. Because you so desperately want to believe it's not happening. You can't cover your eyes. You can't keep your head buried in the sand. This is what I just showed you here for the past week. And we're not done yet, by the way. There's more coming. We have to do it in drips and drabs to make sure that people don't forget in 2 weeks. And Shia from Lives of TikTok, she promised me to my face that she will not let up on this. Because we agreed, her and I both agreed, that most Christians, most conservatives in 2 weeks aren't going to be talking about this anymore. But I will, and she will, because we just want to move on. Like I said, I spent about 40 minutes with Shia from Lives of TikTok. She got to hear about Jesus Christ. She got to hear about what we're doing. You know, she shares my video, some of my videos, and she shares the stories that, like this one we sent her. But like I said, we spent 40 minutes with her. And I told her I'm thankful for her because I told her, you're helping us, fight for free speech. And you're helping to out this stuff with us. And I told her I appreciate her. We shook hands, and her camera guy, but it was really great. And that's what we're doing. And I want to encourage each and every one of you. We have another group coming in that we're going to be working with, and I'm asking them. I want some specialized training from them for investigations for this to go deeper and deeper and deeper than what we already know, because I can't even share with you everything that we know because we can't tip our hand on everything. But all I can tell you is this: there are judges, police, politicians, all involved in this garbage. Okay? All involved, and they are coming after. If you stand against it, they're going to unleash hell on you. And that's okay. That's supposed to happen. The Holy Spirit empowers us. The Holy Spirit gives us strength and courage because, again, you're right. In the natural, in your flesh, you can't do it. It does take grace. It does take the Holy Spirit to be able to stand against this stuff and to endure. So if you can't do it, I have to question: do you really have the Holy Ghost living inside of you? If you're afraid. Well, I'm not afraid. I just want to be hateful. No, you're afraid. You can call it whatever you want, but you're afraid. Cowards go to hell. That's what the Bible says in Revelation. Cowards go to hell. And if you don't stand against this, you are a coward. You can convince yourself anything you want, but you are a coward. You can hear us, well, we have to love them. You want to call me hateful, whatever, but your insults, I don't really care. Your perception of me, I don't care. Because while you're sitting there doing nothing, sitting on your hands, sitting on your couch, sitting on YouTube, sitting on Facebook, whatever, we're outing these perverts and these predators. They've got the power they got because of people that do nothing. Now there are people that are doing something, and we are training other people to do this stuff. If you have any concern at all in your area, if you hear anything like this, I want you to email me. I want you to tell me. We will start even if you suspect it, we will start looking into it. It is time for Christians to stand against evil, not just talking about it, actually doing it. Stop worrying about what the enemy thinks about you and start worrying about, because when you do that, then you'll see. And you'll start making a difference. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. Again, Wednesday nights, like I said, I'm not doing Tuesday nights anymore because it's just too much to do. Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's just too much. Especially in light of this. I mean, setting this up took a long time to do with the slides and the audios and the videos, things like that. It took a little while to do. And that, I guess not too long, but it took a good hour and a half on top of everything else. But, I said when Ruben passed away that I believe we're in a new season, and we're starting to see some of the fruit of that new season. What I believe is the fruit of that in that, you know, what we're doing now. I mean, I never in a million years thought that God would have me involved in doing this kind of stuff, outing this kind of stuff. But here we are. And it is a lot of time. So I just can't do, 4 videos a week and all this. I just can't. So I have to, Tuesday nights are going to be my night to make, do what I have to do for investigation stuff and all that. I've got too much to go on. I've got meetings I have to attend to during the day now. I've got conferences with people, lawmakers. It's just too much. So on Wednesday nights, we'll continue to do these videos on this channel here on the official Street Preachers channel. Tuesdays and Sundays will still be on the Words for Christ channel at 9 o'clock. So just so you guys know, adjust your times, adjust your schedules. I'm streaming this on I'm going to be streaming on both channels to maximize the exposure of all this stuff. So, again, especially if you're like this, I would encourage you all, if you really got something out of this, if you really want to help expose the predators in our schools and our society, I'm going to ask you to please share this video. Share it on Facebook. Share it on, I don't know, whatever other platforms you guys are using it. Because people need to see this. And encourage them to like. We have 2 YouTube channels we use. We have at Official Street Preachers and at Words for Christ Ministries. If you go to youtube.com, just type in the @ symbol and put in, you can put in, let's see here. Put in at Warriors for Christ, or you can put in a microphone. Yeah, I got that right. At Warriors for Christ Ministries, or you can put in at Official Street Preachers, and you will get it. Either one of them. So, we need your, subscribe. On top of that, make sure you hit the notification bell. YouTube. I mean, I've had people tell me all the time they're not getting notifications. You need to check those things here. Make sure you have all the notifications turned on. Because if you don't, you're going to get YouTube and Facebook and all these guys here you're going to give them the control of your platforms and what you want to see. Facebook right now has me so cranked down. I mean, worse than I've ever had it. I mean, I literally am sharing stuff stuff that ordinarily I would get thousands and thousands of views on, that they're not letting my stuff go anywhere. And I believe this is all control of information, control the flow of information. 7 things here. I mean, just this thing here about this should have been hundreds and hundreds and thousands, but no. I shared the news article from Visit, and I got 5. The money, how does Jumpstart a millennial? That one's got 30 something. So, but this one about the guy sexually harassing the maintenance worker, 5. So they're going to be so cranked down. The only way you can do this, if you guys are going to have to, you're going to have to check and make sure that this stuff is working. We do have Twitter, or X now, whatever it's called, and it's Shouting for God. We have that account, which we do. I'm starting to use it a little bit more than I traditionally have. So I think let's make sure it is. It is Shouting for the number 4 God on X. And Rumble, we have Rumble, which didn't work tonight. I don't know why it didn't, but Rumble's a weird thing. But it's Rumble. If you go to Rumble, type in @Official Street Preachers, or rumble.com/c/Official Street Preachers. We're there as well. But we'd encourage you all, please continue to share this stuff here. Help us keep exposing this. Help share. The audio's cutting out every 30 seconds. It's weird. Can you guys hear me on this one? Can you guys hear me? Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Is that better? All right, so I think I fixed it there. I had a dual channel thing going on, so I don't know what that was. But anyway, please continue to keep us in prayer. We have so much to do, and we're doing what we can. If you need prayer, again, we have a prayer on our website, wfcchurch.org/prayer-wall. Please utilize that if you need prayer. If you want to go beyond prayer and help us, believe me, we need all the help we can get. We're getting ready to go here in 2 weeks. We're going down to by Atlanta, Georgia. And Eric, I'm going to extend this invitation out to you. If you'd like to join us, you're welcome to. Eric, if you're watching still, I don't know. But you're welcome to join us if you want. I'll leave it up to you. If you want details where we're going to be, let me know. I'll be glad to have you. Adam Bishop will be out with us in a day there. So keep us in prayer, you guys. We continue to stand against this evil. Yes, and by the way, when you do subscribe to our channels, make sure you leave a comment for the algorithm. Make sure you leave a comment and give a thumbs up after the fact, too, because that does affect the algorithm. With that said, again, if you want to move beyond prayer, we have links down below and in the description of the video to help support our ministry so that we can continue fighting this. We continue traveling and investigating and bringing all this stuff out to you, as well as everybody else for that, You can go to our website, wfcchurch.org/give. We have Venmo, which is at Official Street Preachers. And we have Zelle, which is pastor@wfcchurch.org. Again, we travel all over the country. We spend a lot of time doing this. It costs a lot of money to do this. Praise God that we're able to do it. To praise God that He's put us in this position. But again, we need prayer and we do need help financially to help continue this mission. If you feel led to and you want to go beyond prayer to help us on our next trip, we want to bring our team of guys from Shadow Ops here, not our team, but their team here to help and throw them something because they're going to come here and they're going to help us learn some of their investigative stuff, and they're going to come and do some things that we need help with as well. So, again, it's Venmo at Official Street Preachers, Zelle, which is pastor@wfcchurch.org, which you see literally right below me right now, right here, and our website, wfcchurch.org/give. Everything is appreciated. Every little bit helps because this is some major stuff we're doing here, and praise God that we're able to do it. And, He gets all the glory, of course. We're just vessels that are just obedient to do what He says. With that said, I want to thank you all again. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Today is Wednesday. We will be back tomorrow night on the worst, both channels really, I guess. With another live video, we're doing a teaching then. God bless you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow night.
You've been listening to Warriors for Christ. Biblical, bold, truth, uncompromising. We take the Bible literally, teaching and preaching truth without any preconceived ideas. America's leading street ministry, with the goal to wake up the church and to fight back against the wickedness in the world. We hope you've gotten some useful and inspirational information from the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. Till next time, we are Warriors for Christ.